Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing the latest news about the fourth stimulus check from Joe Biden's American Families Plan. And of course, a $200 increase in your Social Security benefits. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest news surrounding Social Security benefits, SSDI or SSI payments, then be sure to stay until the end of this video everybody. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family and subscribe to my channel to never miss out on all of the very important stimulus news. The whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news. I believe that a fourth stimulus check is needed and that our politicians must do a better job in helping out the American people like you and I. And if you agree with me everybody, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So everybody, Congress is working on providing the American people with more relief and aid. According to the Washington Post, Democratic lawmakers are still pushing Joe Biden to propose permanently expanding unemployment benefits that were offered during the crisis. In a letter to the White House, 40 Democrats in the House of Representatives proposed increasing unemployment benefits and extending them. Now guys, ever since the beginning of the crisis, Congress has increased unemployment payments multiple times. At first, Congress added $600 to weekly payments back in the CARES Act until December. And then most recently, lawmakers added a $300 weekly supplement that will last through September. Now folks, the current extension is great, but more relief should definitely be passed. Lawmakers wrote in the letter that the CARES Act emergency programs must be extended to support jobless workers for the duration of the current economic downturn. But we must also fix the underlying problems facing our unemployment insurance system so that it can provide economic security for all workers. A source told the Wall Street Journal that the White House has been studying unemployment changes, and Democrats in Congress have been in communication with the administration on the matter. Now guys, stimulus payments are not the only relief that Americans will be receiving from Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus plan. The American Rescue Plan also includes 7 child tax credit payments for eligible families. Starting in July, the new child tax credit payments will begin being delivered. If you qualify, you can receive $500 and $3,600 per dependent, but it all depends on what your adjusted gross income is for 2021. Biden has already proposed the American Jobs Plan, folks, and if the plan is approved, it would put more than $2 trillion into the U.S. economy and create jobs through focusing on critical pieces of U.S. infrastructure. The plan would build and upgrade roads and transportation hubs. Joe Biden also may be setting aside $1 trillion for all individuals and families as part of the American Families Plan. Folks, here's what now everybody, here's what you came for. Now everybody, here's the latest news about your Social Security benefits. Now everybody, here's the latest news about the increase in your Social Security benefits. Millions of Americans count on Social Security benefits to provide income when they are retired or disabled. But the program's funds have been running low. The latest official estimate from the Social Security Administration shows that just 79% of promised benefits will be payable in 2035. That's due to depletion of its trust funds. Now under Joe Biden's new plan, eligible workers would get a guaranteed minimum benefit equal to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. People who have received benefits for at least 20 years will get a 5% bump. Widows and widowers will receive about 20% more per month. And to pay for those higher benefits, Biden would apply Social Security payroll taxes to those making $400,000 and up. In 2021, workers generally pay the 6.2% Social Security tax on up to $142,000 of wages. And so the good news is that earnings between $142,000 and $400,000 would not be subject to those levies under Joe Biden's new plan. So guys, just expect Social Security issues to be taken on by lawmakers this year. But still, Senator Mitt Romney has touted the Trust Act, and this would let lawmakers from bipartisan committees to address programs like Social Security that face a shortfall in funding and fast-track changes to improve them. Still, in order for that bill to be passed, it must gain support from Republicans and the Democrats. What are your thoughts on this, everybody? Are you in favor of more Social Security benefits? If you do, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes.
I'm a union president. I made no bones about that.
This is where we're going. This is the future of America.
Well, it sounds like you've read my infrastructure plan.
My dad used to come home filthy from the foundry. I told myself, I'll never work in the plant. After 38 years of service and no clean air protection, my dad died from black lung. I decided to turn my grief into a positive by fighting for workers' rights in my dad's memory. I started on the assembly line, and now I'm president of our UAW local. The industry is changing, and I want to make sure we're protected, respected, and ready. And so does President Biden. I know because he told me.
You guys have been the backbone of the country. It's not hyperbole.
Thank you so much. As we're going through right now with the automotive industry, a lot of our components are being held up at the border.
Yep.
We are having a hard time to be able to produce daily work. How nice would it be to be able to go to the state next door to get components instead of having to go overseas?
The money that I spend as your president to do everything from build aircraft carriers to buy fleets of vehicles, the components have to be made in America. You can have a Buy American proposal with federal funds that are being spent. And we spend over $600 billion in federal funds on a yearly basis.
We would love to have more product, more manufacturing here in the United States.
You got it. You will, I promise you. It's estimated if we pass this jobs plan, Lewis, we're going to have over a 6% growth rate within the year. It's about building up manufacturing capacity in America, too.
And with that, of course, we need help and support. I'm pushing the PRO Act.
You got it.
Yes, making sure we have them out there to organize.
I am pushing it hard.
Mr. President, I want to talk also about infrastructure and associate myself with the interest that the country has in infrastructure. In fact, one of the things that the government has done the longest has been roads and bridges and canals. And I think initially the term was internal improvements, was what in the early 19th century they would have talked about when they talked about what we began to talk about later as infrastructure. But during almost the entire history of the country, there was an understanding of what infrastructure meant in America, and infrastructure is pretty popular. Infrastructure is definitely something that you generally can't do for yourself. You can't on your own provide the water line that connects your house to the next house. On your own, you can't provide the road that gets you from home to work. On your own, you can't do a lot of things that we did early on and up till right now and called them infrastructure. Normally they were seen as things like roads and bridges and dams, big projects that sometimes cross state lines, or big projects that sometimes were just too big for a state or a town to handle, like water systems that needed to be improved. And when we did that, I'll talk later about the way we did that. That bipartisan agreement also largely led to figuring out ways that infrastructure would pay for itself, that the people who use the infrastructure would pay for the infrastructure. And we looked at that in a number of different ways.